Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation on Mango ERP. Mango ERP is an innovative technology solution designed to help organizations manage their operations more effectively, especially in contracting, construction, real estate development, and project-based businesses. It connects data across all departments and helps make day-to-day operations more convenient, efficient, and faster. Before we go into the program in detail, let me first give you a brief introduction to the company. Mango Consultant Company Limited was established on 16th of June 2008. Mango is a company that develops ERP software covering every major area of work for construction contractors, real estate developers, and other service-based businesses. We are committed to delivering excellent service, and our solutions are trusted by clients both in Thailand and internationally. Our management and development team includes specialists in project contract management, accounting, finance, and software development with more than 30 years of professional experience. At present, Mango serves more than 1,000 client companies using the system. And to give you a sense of the range of industries we support, our clients span several sectors: construction contracting, real estate development, manufacturing and installation, media, advertising and events, and software development. Notable clients include Sayengfa Construction Company Limited, Unique Engineering and Construction Public Company Limited, Powerline Engineering Public Company Limited, Italthai Engineering Company Limited, SCG Sekisui Sales Company Limited, Thai Polycorns Public Company Limited, and many others across building and factory construction. We also serve clients in the interior design and house building sectors. In addition, we work with clients involved in building systems and engineering services. We also support clients in renewable energy, such as solar power and EV charger businesses. That gives you a broad picture of the types of clients Mango supports across different industries. Now, before we move into the detailed functions of Mango ERP, let's first take a look at the overall workflow of the system. The process begins with bidding. This is where the system stores tender information and tracks the status of each project, whether the bid has been won, lost, or is still in progress. Once a project has been awarded, it can be brought into the system to open the project. This step is used to define the project conditions and key contract details. This also includes setting the project start and end dates, as well as assigning the responsible team members who will manage the project. Another very important part is budget control. In Mango, there are two ways to control the project budget. The first method is to control the budget by work category, which in the system is referred to as a cost code or cost center. This method focuses on controlling the budget by value within each work category. The second method is quantity-based control, where users manage the quantities of materials and equipment required for the project. This is done through what we call material code. The approach depends on how each client wants to manage their project budget. Next is project planning and QC. Project planning is used to define the work plan for the project, or what is commonly called the work breakdown structure. Clients can set up their own workflow and determine how the project tasks should be structured. They can also design the work activities themselves and update progress through the application in real time. This makes it very convenient for the responsible staff, as they can upload photos or update progress percentages directly through the app. The system also connects to QC, which is used for quality control and inspection. For site operations represented by the green process flow, this includes creating purchase request documents. The system allows users to pull data directly from the budget in order to create PR documents for purchasing or subcontracting. These documents can also be approved through the application. Clients can define their own approval rules, whether by approval sequence or by approval amount threshold. Another part handled by operations is petty cash and other express expenses. The system supports petty cash requests, advance clearing, and other project-related expenses as well. The Progress Submit function is used for submitting work progress claims to the project owner. Here, the client's BOQ can be imported into the system so progress claims can be submitted based on percentage completion, work quantities, or staged milestones. The system also supports milestone payments. For subcontractor progress claims, the system can pull data from subcontract agreements and process claims based on work quantities, completion percentages, or installment milestones delivered by the subcontractor. The purple section represents the purchasing process, where the procurement team uses PR documents as the starting point. From there, they can create request for quotation documents, compare prices to find the best supplier, generate purchase orders, and create subcontract agreements directly in the system. On the pink section is the inventory control system, whether by site store or central warehouse. The system allows goods received from purchase orders to be recorded directly. To make the receiving process easier, this can also be done through the application. With the app, users can scan a QC code, take photos of the items, and tag the location as well. This makes it easy to track where the goods were received from. Inventory control here means stock management. The system supports both site-based warehouse management and central warehouse management, and the app also supports stock issuance workflows. The orange section represents the accounting process on the payable side. This includes creating payables to record project-related creditors, processing payments, and generating payment-related reports. The light blue section covers accounts receivable. It pulls information from project delivery processes to create invoices, record receivables, and issue receipts and tax invoices directly from the system. The red section is asset management. This includes maintaining the asset register, asset transfers, physical counts, expense tracking, depreciation, and asset disposal. If the company wants to use assets for rental purposes, the system also includes a rental module for both internal and external asset rental. It also includes asset maintenance functions through the maintenance system, which is used to manage repair and maintenance work for different assets. Another section covers the MRP module for manufacturing, where users can set BOM formulas and track the production process through to finished goods. The HR module is related to payroll. It can be used to calculate salaries, process payroll payments, and manage timesheets, including employee check-in and checkout at project sites. The yellow GL module is used for financial closing, bank reconciliation, and accounting adjustments. At the bottom, the project management reporting section provides project status reports that can be monitored in real time. Now, before we walk through the details of each individual function, let me first show all of you the reports that the Mango system generates. This program is a web-based system, so users can access it directly through their browser. You can also choose which company you want to log into, and the system supports multi-company access as well. Each user will have their own username and password to log in, and access to the different modules depends on that user's permissions. The first report I'd like to show you is the project status report. This gives you an overview of how many projects are currently in the system and what stage each project is in. You can also view this through the mobile application. If a project is showing a positive or negative result, you can click into any individual project for a deeper look in more detail. For example, if we open the Mango 1 project, we can immediately see the current project status. This includes how much progress has been completed, how much money has been received, and how much has already been paid out. You can also review the AR aging as well as AR retention, which refers to retention amounts withheld by the client. The report also shows any advance payments that were received earlier, how much has already been deducted, and how much still remains to be deducted. On the payable side, you can see AP aging, which shows outstanding payables waiting to be paid, along with AP retention or retention amounts withheld from subcontractors that will need to be paid back later. The program also pulls in outstanding PO balances and outstanding subcontract balances, so you can see how much remains to be received under purchase orders and how much still needs to be claimed and paid under subcontract agreements. You can also view key project information such as who the project owner is, the contract start and end dates, and who is assigned as the project manager, project director, or site engineer for that project. In addition, the report shows the total contract value, including any additional work, the total project budget, including variations, and the preliminary gross profit. In the purchase cost section, for example, if the project budget was set at 230 million baht and 208 million baht has already been committed through purchasing and subcontracting, the report will show that only around 22 million baht remains available. At the bottom, the S-curve graph allows you to monitor the project from several different angles. You can turn different S-curve lines on or off to analyze the data more clearly. For example, you can compare the planned value against the actual work progress from site, see how much work has actually been delivered, how much has been billed, and how much cash has already been collected. If you want to look at the payment side instead, you can compare the budget against purchase commitments, actual cost incurred, and actual payments made. This gives you a quick summary view, but if you want to go deeper, you can simply click into the detail view. Using the same Mango One project as an example, once you open the details screen, you can clearly see whether the project is currently making a profit or a loss. You can drill down into customer invoices and see that, for example, 121 million baht has already been billed, along with the related invoice numbers and billing periods. The program collects all of this invoice data and presents it in a dashboard format. You can also review collections in detail. For example, if 110 million baht has already been received, you can click in and see exactly which invoices those receipts came from, or which receipt voucher numbers were used for those collections. This section also shows all contract-related deductions, so the system can calculate the net revenue for the project automatically. At the moment, for example, the project may show total revenue of 111 million baht. This is then compared against project costs, which are pulled from four main sources. The first is purchase orders for materials procured for the project. The second is petty cash and other project-related expenses. The third is subcontract costs, and the fourth is accounting allocations, such as salaries and other indirect expenses assigned to the project. You can drill down further into each category. For example, if purchase orders total 121 million baht, you can click in to see which PO numbers make up that amount. You can even go down to the item level to see exactly what was purchased, such as steel or concrete, how much it cost, what the historical purchase price was, when it was last purchased, which vendor supplied it, and which project it was used for. The blue section, for example, may show 84 million baht as actual accounting cost. You can click in to see which AP voucher entries make up that amount. The green section, showing 81 million baht, represents actual payments already made. From there, you can review which payment voucher numbers were used. This gives you a real-time view of the project's actual cost compared with the revenue already received, so you can monitor every day whether the project is currently running at a profit or a loss. Another report is the Summary Cost Report. This report shows the budget by category and compares it against committed purchase cost and actual incurred cost for each budget category. You can design the budget categories or cost codes to match the nature of your business. You can also drill down further. For example, if one budget category has a budget of 26 million baht and 12 million baht has already been committed, you can click in to see exactly what has been purchased under that category. You can also see the remaining budget and compare it with actual accounting cost. If 12 million baht of actual cost has already been recorded, the system will show which AP voucher documents make up that amount. In the next section, you can also review the outstanding purchase balance, meaning how much is still pending receipt, as well as finance cost, showing how much has already been paid for that category. Another useful view is the material-based view, which focuses on quantity control. This allows you to compare the planned quantity of materials against the actual quantity purchased. For example, the green section may show that 4,000 units were purchased, which is still within the planned quantity. At the same time, the purchase price may be lower than the budgeted rate. You can then drill in to see how many purchase orders were placed at that lower price. Since materials can be purchased in multiple batches, the system averages the prices across those purchases and compares the average against the budgeted unit price. The orange section shows items that were actually purchased but were not included in the budget quantity plan. This makes it easy to identify which items were purchased outside the original budget. So, these are the project-based status reports. The second major group of reports is the finance report, which gives you a company-wide overview. The first one is the cash receipt and payment report. This lets you monitor the company's inflows and outflows on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. You can also drill down into the details to see which projects the cash receipts came from and analyze customer payment behavior by grading them. For example, to see whether a customer tends to pay well or not. The payment side works the same way. You can see which vendors or projects payments were made to in each period. At the bottom, the report also shows outstanding receivables and payables for invoices that have already been issued but not yet collected or paid. These can be grouped by grade, such as A, B, C, and D, based on overdue periods that you define, for example, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or more than 120 days. When you click in, you can see the details of which invoices are still outstanding, which project they belong to, and which customer they are associated with. You can also review collection comments to see whether follow-up action has already been taken, and if so, what communication has taken place with the customer and why payment may have been delayed. Another key report is the cash flow report. This can be monitored monthly, either by project or across the whole company. On the inflow side, the system pulls data from customer invoices and estimates when cash is expected to be received based on due dates. This allows you to see which customer invoices are expected to generate cash in the current or following month. When we click on it, we'll see details like this. In the operating income section, you can review actual cash already received during each month and drill down by source, project, and customer. On the outflow side, the system pulls data from recorded payables to show who needs to be paid for which project and to which vendor. Then in the operating expense section, you can review actual payments already made, such as materials, subcontractor costs, or other expenses. You can drill in even further to see which project those payments relate to and which vendors were paid. This report gives you a forward-looking estimate of your cash balance by month, helping you understand how much cash is likely to remain available in the next period. The system also supports credit facilities and guarantees. You can drill down to see which projects have guarantees issued, such as performance guarantees, advance payment guarantees, retention guarantees, PN, and other guarantee types. So these are some of the key reports you will receive from using Mango ERP. Next, let's move into the detailed functions of each module and see how they actually work in practice. Next, let's move on to the bidding system. This module is used to keep a full record of tender opportunities. In the system, projects that are still in the bidding stage are stored as tenders. Once a project is awarded, it can then be converted into a live project, where you can set up the budget and manage variations such as additional work or scope reductions. This is what the working screen looks like. Whenever a new bid comes in, you simply enter the project name, client name, and any key conditions related to the opportunity. You can also define the project status and keep a record of follow-up activities, including what has already been discussed with the client and when the next follow-up should take place. The system also provides reminders, so each responsible person can clearly see which pending tasks belong to them. You can also attach supporting documents directly into the system, and it supports all common file formats. Once a project is awarded, you can use the same data already entered during the tender stage to open the project. The system will pull that information forward automatically, and then you can continue by defining the budget control method, contract start and end dates, and the people responsible for overseeing the project. You can also assign the project to the relevant team members, attach the project location, upload client documents, and even include project photos. When it comes to budgeting in Mango, there are 3 methods available. The first is direct key in, where you manually enter the details into the system. The second is importing the budget from Excel. And the third is copying from a previous project or from a standard template that your company has already prepared. The project budget screen looks like this. It includes details based on the BOQ, quantities, and unit prices, along with both the project budget and the contract value received from the client. You can also define the relevant cost codes and material codes to control which budget categories and which materials need to be monitored. The program will then summarize the budget by cost code, showing which work categories are included in the project, how much budget has been allocated to each one, and the project's preliminary margin. For budget control, you can set your own control percentages for each cost code. For example, you may decide that the system should begin controlling a certain category once it reaches 80%, 90%, or 100% of the budget. The program will then monitor and enforce control based on the percentage you define. There is also quantity control. This allows you to define which materials are required for the project and in what quantities. The system can then prevent purchase requests from exceeding the quantities planned in the budget. Budget forecasting is another important feature. If you do not have visibility into how much budget has already been committed and how much still remains, it becomes very difficult to know whether the project will have enough budget to complete the work. The system can forecast remaining budget usage for each work category, helping you estimate how much more budget will still be needed before the project is complete. The program also keeps track of budget revisions, so you can see how many times the project budget has been revised. In addition, for change orders, additions, or scope reductions, the system allows users to submit budget adjustment requests, route them for approval, and generate forms directly from the system. Now, let's move on to the project planning module. This part is used for construction planning, where you can define the project plan according to your own requirements. Within each plan, you can specify the task activities that need to be completed, and the system can track progress updates from the responsible users in real time. Progress updates are made through the application. There are 3 main apps available. The first is for viewing project status, the second is for updating progress directly from site, and the third is for quality inspection. And these applications can be downloaded directly from the App Store and Play Store. You can assign tasks to the responsible people, and each person will see their assigned activities for today or tomorrow. They can immediately check how much progress has been completed, either as a percentage or by quantity. Users can enter progress quantities or percentages for each activity, and most importantly, they can upload photos of the work completed. The program also stores the location data for those images. All updates are saved as historical records, so you can review them whenever needed. The system can also generate daily, weekly, and monthly reports, and it connects directly with the QC process, so you can verify whether the work meets the required quality standards. For QC inspections, you can create your own checklist items. The inspection forms are fully customizable. Users can record whether an item passes or fails, attach before and after photos, sign approvals through the application, and generate a summarized inspection report in the format your company prefers. The system also allows subcontractors or outsourced parties to register and submit progress updates directly. Notifications can be sent through the application as well as through line or email. In terms of reporting, you can monitor the status of each work plan by comparing actual progress against the original plan. There is also an S-curve view that compares planned progress with actual progress. The system supports critical path setup, links between activities, and a full history of plan revisions. You can define daily work percentages, configure QC inspection forms, and plan resources such as materials, equipment, labor, and overhead for each activity. You can assign work to responsible staff and also check whether each person is currently available or already occupied. Additional files can be attached, comments can be added to preserve communication history for each activity, and files can be exported in Excel, image, PDF, or other formats. There is also a dashboard for analyzing each work plan, viewing summaries across all projects, reviewing planned resource usage, checking the full history of progress updates with photos by date range, and seeing organizer-style reports that show what each staff member is currently working on. You can also review location-based reports to see where work is taking place and what the current status of each project is. Next, let's continue to the operations section. This covers PR creation or purchase requests, requests for subcontract progress claims, petty cash, other expenses, and project handover to the client. For PRs, the system can pull data directly from the BOQ to create purchase requests. You can review the purchase request history, check available material stock in both the project store and the central store, attach supporting files, and track the current PR status. PRs can also be created through the application, where users simply choose the project and submit the request directly. If you prefer to work through the main system screen, you can select the project and then choose the materials or services you want to request. The quantity can be requested partially, and you can also check the remaining stock balance to see whether the item is still available in the central store or site store. You can define the document type as a PR for purchasing, subcontracting, or requesting items from the store. You can also check purchase history to see which items have already been ordered based on the BOQ and which ones are outside the BOQ. Photos and documents can be attached as well. The system also controls quantities to make sure requests do not exceed the quantities planned in the budget. Once saved, the request is generated as a purchase request document, and the form layout can be customized to match your needs. Approvals are handled through the application, and you can define exactly how each document type should be approved. Approvers can review the form, attached files, and document details before either approving or rejecting the request. Approvals can also be done through the main system interface, where users can pull up pending documents, review the information, and then approve or reject them. If a document is rejected, a reason must always be entered so the creator knows what needs to be corrected. You can also check the PR status at any time to see whether it has been approved and whether a purchase order has already been issued against it. If a PO has already been created, the system will show the PO number as well. For subcontractor progress claims, the system can pull data from subcontract agreements and process progress claims either through the application or directly in the system. You can retrieve the subcontract, enter the quantity, percentage, or amount claimed by the subcontractor, and the system will summarize the total amount automatically. It also keeps a history of how many claims have already been submitted against the subcontract and whether each claim has already been paid. The output can then be generated as a service or payment form for the subcontractor. For petty cash, advances, advance clearing, and other expenses, requests can be created either through the application or through the main system. You simply choose the project, define the type of expense, explain what the spending is for, attach documents, and send the request for online approval. For project billing to the client or progress submit, the system can pull data from the BOQ to process claims, or the billing can be based on milestones. You select the project, enter the quantity or percentage of work delivered according to the BOQ, and the system will summarize the value to be billed for that period. There are also reports available for PRs, allowing you to track how many PRs have been opened for a project, how many are still pending, and how other expenses are progressing, including whether payment has already been made. Now let's move on to the purchasing section. This module is used for purchase orders, subcontract orders, and quotation comparison. The system allows you to request quotations from suppliers by email or through line, and suppliers can submit their quotations directly by email. The process starts by selecting the PR you want to work with and choosing the suppliers you want to request quotations from. Since supplier email addresses are already stored in the vendor master database, the system can send out the request automatically. Suppliers can then click the web link provided and submit their prices directly. The program collects all supplier responses and builds a quotation comparison table showing the prices and terms from supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3, and so on. The system can then help recommend which supplier to select, and this recommendation can also be routed for approval. For purchase orders, the system can take data directly from approved PRs and convert it into PO documents. You can review the item details, see the historical prices previously paid for the same item, check whether any discount has been received this time, and verify which budget category the purchase will be charged against. You can also confirm whether the available budget is sufficient. Additional documents can be attached as well. If the budget is insufficient, the system can stop the purchase. If the budget is enough, the system allows the PO to be saved and generated as a formal purchase order. The PO document can include a barcode, which can later be scanned through the application during goods receipt. For subcontract agreements, the system can pull data from PRs that were created for subcontracting. You can then specify the contract conditions, such as which subcontractor is being hired, the contract terms, the advance percentage, retention percentage, contract start and end dates, warranty period penalties, and the scope of work being contracted. Budget control also applies to subcontract agreements. The final output can be generated either as a summary contract form or as a detailed contract form, depending on the format you choose. Once a PO or subcontract agreement has been approved, the system can send it directly to the supplier or subcontractor by email, so there is no need to print and send paper documents. Suppliers and subcontractors can receive the information, review the terms, download the PO, and even see the delivery location. The system also provides feedback reports showing whether the supplier has already acknowledged receipt of the PO. Purchasing reports include dashboard views showing document volume by month. For example, the green bars may represent the number of POs opened each month, blue may show outstanding POs, yellow may show canceled documents, and red may show POs opened later than the target time frame. You can also review average item prices to see how prices fluctuate over time, as well as the value of purchases made in each month. From there, you can drill down to see which materials were purchased, which vendor supplied them, and which project they were purchased for. Next, let's move to the inventory control section. This is the store system used to manage materials for each project or for the central store. The system supports both QR codes and barcodes for scanning and stock movement. You can define warehouses or storage areas, and the system will create store structures for each project so you can manage them properly. Once you select a project, you will see functions such as Goods Receive, IC Receive for assigning the storage location, Request Issue, Request Transfer, Issue Transfer, and Receipt of Stock transferred from other projects. To make receiving easier, you can use the mobile application to receive goods from anywhere. By scanning the barcode, the app can pull up the PO details, record the receipt, attach photos, and save the location where the goods were received. If you work through the main system screen instead, you simply select the PO, enter the delivered quantity, attach files or photos, and save the transaction as a goods received document. Once the goods are received into stock, you can define exactly where they should be stored. Issue requests, transfers, and returns can also be done through the application. Users can request issue or transfer transactions and check the available stock in each warehouse. If you work through the system screen, you simply choose the transaction type, select the material, enter the required quantity, choose the usage location, and save the document as a material request form. You can also define min-max stock warning levels, so the system alerts you if an item exceeds or drops below the limits you set. QR codes and barcodes can also be used to scan stock during stock issue and stock counting. Inventory reports include material balance by project, showing how much has been received, how much has been issued, and how much remains in stock. You can also view store reports for all sites, stock card reports, and stock balance reports. Next, let's move to the accounting side, starting with accounts payable. This is the payable accounting module, where the system supports payable creation, credit notes, bill receipt, and payments. Payables are divided into three main types. The first comes from goods received through purchasing. The second comes from subcontract claims that have already been submitted, and the third comes from other expenses. For payable recording, the system can pull data directly from the goods receipt so users can verify whether the items, quantities, values, tax invoice, accounting entries, photos, and attached files are all correct. Once everything is confirmed, you simply save the document and the accounting entry is created automatically. Credit notes can also be processed directly through the system, and a proper credit note form can be generated from it. For bill receipt, the system allows you to receive vendor invoices and adjust the payment date to match the company's payment cycle. A bill receipt document is then generated accordingly. For payment approval, the system can collect all documents due for payment in the current cycle and send them to the authorized approver. This step is called the prepayment voucher. After that, the payment can be processed. The system supports three payment methods: check, transfer, and check direct. Checks can be printed directly from the system, and the system can also generate payment vouchers and retention documents. Available reports include payable aging and detailed outstanding payable reports. On the receivable side, the accounts receivable system handles customer invoicing, credit notes, receivable recording, receipt and tax invoice issuance, receipt of payment, and receivable clearing. Invoices can be created in three forms: project invoices, trading invoices, and other invoices. Project invoices are further divided into advance, progress, and retention. The system can pull data directly from project handover records to generate invoices, verify the information, and alert users when an invoice is due or overdue. You can also track debt collection activities on outstanding invoices, record whether follow-up has already been done, and note when the customer expects to pay. The system can then generate the invoice form. For receivable recording, the system pulls invoice data into the receivable entry screen, applies the linked account codes automatically, and once saved, generates the accounting document. Receipts and tax invoices are also divided into three types: project receipts, trading receipts, and other receipts. The system pulls the invoice information, allows partial receipt if needed, and once saved, generates the receipt and tax invoice document. You can then record the actual cash receipt, specify which bank the money is being deposited into, which bank it came from, and what type of receipt it is, such as cash, check, transfer, or another method. The system then clears the receivable automatically, posts the accounting entry, and generates the corresponding document. There are many reports available in AR as well, including invoice by project, collection reports, receivable aging, output tax reports, and many others. Next is fixed asset, which covers asset registration, asset transfer, asset counting, expense history, depreciation, and asset disposal. The system allows you to maintain the asset register, attach photos, and define conditions such as asset type and depreciation method. It can also generate asset registration forms. For asset transfers, you can record who the asset is being transferred to or loaned to, and the system will generate transfer and loan forms. It can also generate barcodes and QR codes, which can be scanned through the application for asset counting. Asset counting forms can show whether the asset was found and whether its condition is normal, damaged, or missing. You can also define alerts for insurance renewal, vehicle tax, compulsory insurance, and other deadlines. Depreciation is calculated automatically every month, and the accounting entries are posted automatically as well. Asset disposal and write-offs due to deterioration can all be processed through the system. Asset reports include the fixed asset register and asset transfer reports. Finally, the general ledger system focuses on financial closing. It includes the general journal for manual accounting adjustments, bank reconciliation, recurring and listing functions, revenue recognition schedules, and full financial statement closing. The General Journal also supports Excel import. For bank reconciliation, bank statements can be imported from Excel and matched against check numbers or transfer references, and the system can generate the bank reconciliation report. Recurring and listing functions are also supported. These are used for prepaid expense adjustments and for hire purchase or leasing transactions, including payment schedules and interest calculations for each installment. Revenue recognition schedules help align revenue and expenses according to accounting standards for each type of transaction. The system includes calculation tables and automatically adjusts the accounting entries as needed. The system also supports e-tax. Financial statements can be customized based on your requirements, whether you want to compare them year by year or month by month. The report structure can be designed to match exactly what your organization needs. The applications can be downloaded from the App Store and Play Store, and access depends on each user's permissions. There are several different apps available. For executives or managers, there are apps for document approval and project status monitoring. There is also a notification app for alerts related to incoming POs, BG, invoices, and other key documents. For the operations team, there are apps for PR creation, subcontract progress claims, and other expense requests. For the store team, there are apps for goods receipt and stock issue. And for the asset team, there is an app for asset counting. These are examples of the applications used for project status monitoring, document approval, goods receipt, stock issue, asset inspection, PR creation, subcontract progress claims, other expense claims, and notifications. And that concludes today's presentation of Mango ERP. If any clients are interested, they can contact us through the channels shown on the program screen. Thank you very much.